Hello everybody, welcome to Crafty Soup. My name is Misty. I have the SCT Sampler Kit unboxing for you. Whenever I do an unboxing, I do a project, so stick around to the end for that. But of course, let's jump into this Happy Mail kit first, and getting this kit in the mail does make me happy every month. I enjoy opening it up to see what kind of goodies are packed inside every time. So if you need more information about these kits than what I mention here, all the information is in the show description below. So there is our theme word for this month, which is friend. So I'm going to pull open all of these goodies and search right away for the die that matches our theme word. So I am amassing quite a nice collection of word dies with their shadows, and I am really loving that about these kits. Looks like we have a metal charm in the kit this month. It's not really my thing, so we'll see if I can do anything with that. And then I flip over the back of the card to see what we have going on. Now, normally we'll have two product lines with partial packs of papers and embellishments. This month we only have one product line, but I'll talk more about that later. We do have our reusable item this month, which is a stencil, and I'm loving when we get stencils in the kits. So here I am trying to figure out which product lines go with which, and basically all the embellishments this time around, including that charm, are from a Paige Evans product line. I do like these kind of epoxy stickers that are in the kit this month, and of course you can see we have some regular cardstock stickers and some floral embellishments. Now this paper pad right here is a separate product line, and I'll put up on the screen the company that made that one because I think it might be Honeybee. I can't remember right off the top of my head who that one was by. So we have that paper pad as well as this partial pack from Paige Evans, and I will go through the papers here. Normally the papers are double-sided, but this time they were only single-sided. So I'll be totally honest, I was a little disappointed this month, which hasn't happened to me before because I felt like there weren't quite enough embellishments to kind of fit my style, and that charm really isn't my style, which probably took up some of the cost of having other embellishments. But I'm going to focus on the things that I really do like about this kit and still be able to get some nice projects out of it. So speaking of projects, let's go ahead and turn in that direction. I'm going to start by pulling out the bits and pieces that did really excite me. I really like those epoxy stickers with some of their phrases that went nicely with the theme word friend. So I'm going to open up my story binder and figure out what story I can tell with those phrases and the word friend. And I find these photos from Halloween, and I know it's Halloween, but that flower on the stencil looks like wheat to me, which is totally a fall theme. So despite this being a pretty floral kit, I think I can make it work. I grab a sheet of cardstock from my stash that kind of has that weedy color to it. And then I turn back to my kit to see what colors I can get to support that weedy color. And I'm trying to go with, things more in the Halloween fall vibe. So more goldeny yellows. I do pull out some greens, and I debate on purples versus blues. And I think in the end, I go with more blues. I'm going to create 3 focal embellishments using that stencil and punches and those papers, and we'll get to that here in just a moment. I'm still working on the structure of what these focal elements are going to be like. Oh, and then I realized my word friend I'm going to use in my title. I want it to be plural, so I go through my previous SCT sampler kits and I find a die set that has an S in it. Okay, so here are the focal embellishment clusters that I'm working on. That little flower looks like wheat to me, so I use a glitter gel stenciling paste through that stencil to create those embellishments. And then I set them aside to dry while I work on other parts of the layout. So I'm going to try and arrange these papers through my die cutter so that I can get the word friend as well as just the S off of that word sweep. Now you can see that the pattern papers I chose for this are a little competitive here, so you can't really see those words very well, but I'm going to fix that in just a minute. Once I tack my S on to the end, when I add some pen work around, and then you'll be able to see the close-up, I think it's going to work out okay in the end, and there's that close-up. Now that S is a different font and size, but it emphasizes the plurality of the word, so I think it's working okay. From my stash, I pull out some alphabets that I think are super fun. They have a good color palette that will work with this layout. And then I'm starting to form the structure of my layout. I know I want those photos to cascade top to bottom, left to right, and I decide the 2 photos in the middle those are family photos of friends of ours that joined us for Halloween. Since it was another COVID Halloween, we kept with our bubble of friends and felt safe enough because we were all vaccinated that we could still do Halloween together. So I am getting my title going on to that effect, which says Halloween with Good Friends. And it was especially fun since this little 3-year-old was able to join us for Halloween for the first time. So it was fun to watch her enjoy the holiday. And with another portion of the stencil, now these are layering stencils, which are intended to go together and layer up. I'm going to separate them out and use them differently. So I'm using the kind of viney part of the stencil as a background to all of the goodness that I'm going to have going on here. Once that's done, I'm getting my embellishment blocks built back up, and I've got that texture paste is dry. Now you can see on the video here that those little wheat images aren't showing up quite as well, and that's going to come back up in the video a little bit later. But in the meantime, I'm just going to go with it and move forward with the layout as my brain kind of thinks over what I want to do about that problem. So I've got my embellishment clusters all adhered down, and I'm adding just a little bit more of stenciling to the background. Now, I prefer those little sponge daubers when I'm doing small stenciling like this, but my sponge dauber was falling apart, which is the con to those. So I pulled out a little stenciling brush, which doesn't stencil as darkly, but they last a lot longer. So that's the trade-off there. I do pull in a few more of the flowers that worked with the color scheme. And then I wanted to remember that I have all of those little phrase stickers that I wanted to incorporate into my embellishment clusters. So I've got the top one going on, and I'm going to add a couple more of these phrase stickers to the other 2 clusters. And then I realized I wanted to add some more to the background of this. So before I did that, I was trying to make those little wheat shapes show up better, and I hate what I just did. Just totally hate it instantly and with passion. Hate it. So I'm going to leave it for now. And again, I will try and come back to fixing that. And in the meantime, I'm working on stenciling that I do like. I think this particular flower reminds me of a sunflower, which I think works well with the fall theme. And it adds some of that frostiness to the background, which works with the fall theme. So that is how I'm making all of these floral images work on this Halloween layout, despite it being kind of a summer floral kit. So I've got my stenciling done there. I'm going to pack up my stenciling paste to try and keep it from drying out on me. And then I'm turning to those embellishments again to see if I can come up with solutions. First, I try inking them up, and I'm not really happy with that solution. So I'm going to make new ones because those were just layers on my layout. I can just peel them off and pop on new layers. So here is what I'm going to do. I am going to color my stenciling paste with some ink, and that's the same ink I used to stencil the background. Now, I did add water to this ink, which I wish I hadn't, because that did cause a little bit of bleeding. When I went to the stenciling part, the color bled through a little bit. But coloring this paste did help it stand out a little bit more, and you'll be able to see that better on the close-ups, which are coming right up. So that's it for this time. As we take a look at these photos on the way out, you can see how that wheat on that upper embellishment looks, and it didn't show up quite as well on the darker colored pattern paper, but I think in the end it's working okay. And I like how much the sparkle adds to this layout with that stenciling paste. So in the end, I'm overall happy with this project. What do you think? Do you think those wheat images showed up well enough? You can leave me a comment below. And if you have any thoughts on how I could improve it even more, I'd love to hear that as well. So until next time, I hope you have some artful days, and I'll catch you in the next video.